Welcome to RF Coins. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most exciting coins in American coin history, the 1965 Liberty Quarter Dollar. This coin may look ordinary, but what if I told you it could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even close to $1 million depending on its condition, rarity, and special mint errors? Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you might find yourself checking every single quarter in your pocket. Let's begin with the story behind this fascinating coin. The year 1965 was one of the biggest turning points in US coin history. Before this year, quarters were made of 90% silver and 10% copper. But due to the rising price of silver, the US Mint decided to change the composition of the quarter. So starting in 1965, the new quarters were made of a copper-nickel clad instead of silver. This change not only saved costs for the government, but it also created one of the most collectible and talked about coins in US history, the 1965 Washington quarter. Now, here's where things get very interesting. During the transition period from silver to clad coinage, some 1965 quarters were accidentally struck on 90% silver planchets, the leftover blanks from 1964. These rare silver 1965 quarters are true treasures. Imagine finding one of these in your pocket change. A genuine 1965 silver quarter can sell for thousands of dollars at auction. One of these rare error coins has sold for more than $7,000. That's right, a single quarter worth thousands because of one small mistake at the mint. Let's talk about the design. On the obverse side, you'll find the famous portrait of George Washington, designed by sculptor John Flanagan. His profile face is left with the word Liberty inscribed above and the motto, "In God We Trust," on the left side. Beneath his neck lies the date 1965, clear and bold. On the reverse side, the American bald eagle spreads its wings proudly, clutching arrows and olive branches, a timeless symbol of strength and peace. Above the eagle reads, United States of America, and below, the denomination, quarter dollar. Now let's move into value, the most exciting part. The standard clad 1965 quarter, if circulated and worn, is usually worth just face value, 25 cents. But the magic begins when you look for high-grade or error examples. A regular 1965 quarter in uncirculated condition can bring anywhere between $5 and $20, depending on the luster, toning, and sharpness. However, a 1965 quarter graded by PCGS or NGC as MS67 or higher can be worth hundreds of dollars. In fact, one 1965 Washington quarter graded MS68 sold for more than $10,000. That's incredible for a coin most people would overlook, but it doesn't end there. Some 1965 quarters feature minting errors, and those are where the big money hides. There are double die errors, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and transitional errors where the coin was struck on a 1964 silver planchet. Transitional errors are the crown jewels of 1965 quarters, because they shouldn't exist. These silver-clad mistakes are so rare that even expert collectors dream of finding one. If you ever find a 1965 quarter that looks a bit different, maybe it sounds more like silver when dropped or has a different color tone, you could be holding a fortune. Always weigh your coins too. Silver quarters weigh about 6.25 grams, while clad quarters weigh about 5.67 grams. Now, what's the current market value in 2025? Right now, collectors and investors are paying huge premiums for high-grade or error 1965 quarters. Even regular uncirculated pieces are seeing a rise in demand. Online auctions and marketplaces like eBay have listings where high-grade examples are selling for anywhere between $50 and $500, depending on certification and appeal. But the record-breaking error coins are the stars. A true silver 1965 quarter could fetch anywhere between $5,000 to $20,000, and if you find one with both silver content and a high mint grade, you could be looking at a potential value nearing $898,959. Yes, almost $900,000 in the rarest condition with perfect grading and silver composition. That's why coin lovers around the world keep searching through their spare change hoping to uncover that one golden, or rather silver, treasure. Collectors value the 1965 quarter not only for its monetary worth but also for its place in history. It represents a turning point, the end of silver coinage in regular circulation and the beginning of a new era for American money. Owning a 1965 quarter is like holding a piece of that moment in time, when the US Mint shifted from tradition to modern coinage. Now let's talk about how you can identify valuable 1965 quarters. First, check the weight. As mentioned earlier, silver quarters are heavier. Second, check the edge color. Clad quarters show a copper-colored line on the edge, while silver ones do not. Third, listen to the ring sound test. Silver quarters make a high, clear ringing sound when dropped gently, while clad quarters make a duller thud. Lastly, if you think your 1965 quarter could be special, take it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade can multiply the value of your coin overnight. So the next time you come across a 1965 quarter, don't just spend it. Study it, weigh it, inspect it carefully. You never know, you could be holding a coin worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. The 1965 Liberty Quarter is a symbol of change, a hidden treasure, and a reminder that sometimes, great value hides in plain sight. Thank you for watching RF Coins, where we explore the incredible stories and values behind US coins. If you love coins as much as we do, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another video. Share this video with other collectors and help spread the excitement of coin hunting. Your next coin could be the one that changes your life. This is RF Coins, uncovering history, uncovering value, and uncovering America's hidden treasures, one coin at a time. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most talked about pieces in American coin collecting history, the 1966 Liberty Quarter Dollar. You might think this is just another old coin, but wait until you hear its story, its hidden secrets, and the unbelievable values collectors are paying for certain varieties in today's market. This is a coin that could be sitting right in your change jar, and you might not even realize it's worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So sit tight, because this video might just change the way you look at your pocket change forever. Let's start with the background. The 1966 Liberty Quarter Dollar was struck at a time when America was undergoing major changes, not just socially and politically, but also in coinage. In 1965, the United States Mint removed silver from the quarter and replaced it with a copper-nickel-clad composition. That means the 1966 quarter contains no silver, but it carries immense value in history and collectability. The mint was under huge pressure to stop people from hoarding silver coins, and that's why no mint marks were placed on quarters from 1965 through 1967. So even though your 1966 quarter doesn't show a mint mark, it could have been struck at the Philadelphia, Denver, or even San Francisco Mint. Now let's talk about the design, a symbol of American pride. The obverse features the classic portrait of George Washington designed by John Flanagan, showing his strong profile with the word Liberty inscribed above, and the motto, "In God We Trust," to the left. The date 1966 sits proudly below Washington's neck, representing a period of change and innovation in the U.S. Mint's history. The reverse side displays the majestic bald eagle perched on a bundle of arrows, framed by olive branches, representing both strength and peace, two values that define the United States. But here's where things get really exciting, the value. Even though the 1966 quarter was not made of silver, its value today can reach staggering amounts depending on condition, errors, and rarity. In circulated condition, these quarters usually trade for face value, 25 cents, but if you have one in exceptional shape, the story changes completely. A well-preserved, uncirculated 1966 Liberty Quarter graded MS65 by PCGS or NGC can be worth between $40 to $70. But that's not the limit. If your coin displays superb luster, no contact marks, and perfect strike, the value can soar dramatically. In fact, one 1966 quarter graded MS67 sold for an incredible $8,959, yes, nearly $9,000, at auction. That's why we always say here at RF Coins, never underestimate the power of a coin's condition. Now, let's explore the error coins. The 1966 quarter is famous for several mint errors that make collectors go crazy. Look out for double dies, especially those showing doubling in the word Liberty or "In God We Trust." These can bring in hundreds of dollars depending on clarity. There are also off-center strikes, broad strikes, and even transitional errors where the planchet was struck on leftover silver blanks from 1964. Imagine finding one of those, a 1966 date on a silver planchet. That kind of error can fetch thousands of dollars easily, often reaching well above $10,000 depending on weight and authentication. Always weigh your coins. A standard 1966 clad quarter should weigh 5.67 grams, but if it's heavier, around 6.25 grams, you may have a silver transitional error worth a small fortune. Collectors also prize coins with strong strikes and beautiful toning. The minting process in the 1960s wasn't always consistent, so many coins came out weakly struck or with planchet flaws. Finding a 1966 quarter with a sharp eagle feather detail and mirror-like surfaces is rare, and rarity always drives value. The market for these coins remains strong, and prices continue to rise every year as more collectors look for top-quality examples. Now let's discuss the historical importance. The 1966 quarter stands as a symbol of transition, from silver to clad, from old tradition to modern minting. It's a piece of America's economic history, representing how the country adapted to changing metal values and consumer needs. Collectors love coins that tell a story, and this one tells a big one. It's not just about money, it's about history, craftsmanship, and the evolution of U.S. currency. When you examine your 1966 Liberty Quarter, pay attention to every detail, the rims, the lettering, the shine, and any unusual features. Even slight misalignments or planchet flaws could mean added value. Always check both sides carefully under good lighting or with a magnifying glass. Many collectors have discovered valuable coins in circulation simply because they took the time to look closer. In today's coin market, values are shifting fast. The demand for vintage-clad quarters, especially from the 1960s, has grown significantly. As silver coins become harder to find, collectors are turning their attention to non-silver classics like the 1966 quarter. Auction houses and online marketplaces like eBay and Heritage Auctions have seen record-breaking sales for high-grade examples. Even common-date coins are rising in price, and error varieties are becoming the talk of the collecting world. So, how can you make the most of this opportunity? Start by checking your change, old coin rolls, or family coin jars. You never know what treasures are hiding in plain sight. If you find a 1966 quarter that looks particularly sharp, get it professionally graded. Certification from PCGS, NGC, or ANAX can dramatically increase its resale value and make it easier to sell to serious collectors. Remember, condition, rarity, and error types are the three golden rules in coin collecting. The better your coin looks, the rarer the error, the higher the grade, the more it's worth. Some lucky collectors have turned a 25-cent coin into thousands of dollars simply by knowing what to look for. The 1966 Liberty quarter is more than just currency. It's a historical artifact, a collector's dream, and a potential goldmine hiding in your pocket change. Whether you're a beginner or a long-time collector, this coin deserves your attention. Keep searching, keep learning, and always check those dates, because as we say here at RF Coins, history and fortune can be found in the smallest of details. So if you've got a 1966 quarter, don't spend it just yet. Take a close look. You could be holding a piece of American history worth far more than face value. And if you find one with exceptional luster, perfect surfaces, or an amazing mint error, you might just have a coin worth as much as $8,959 or even more in the current market. Thanks for watching RF Coins, where every coin has a story, and every story could lead to a treasure. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another video about valuable US coins, hidden rarities, and amazing market updates. Stay curious, stay passionate, and keep collecting, because your next great discovery might be sitting in your pocket right now. RF Coins, revealing the hidden value of America's change, one coin. Today, we're diving deep into one of America's most fascinating coins, the 1971 Liberty quarter dollar. At first glance, it may look like any other quarter in your pocket, but don't be fooled, this coin can be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars depending on its condition, mint mark, and rarity. So, get ready, coin lovers, because what you're about to hear might just make you check every single quarter you own. Let's start with the basics. The 1971 Liberty quarter dollar was struck by the United States Mint during an era when the country was transitioning from silver to a copper-nickel composition. The design features the timeless portrait of George Washington, facing left, with the word Liberty proudly inscribed above his head and the motto, In God We Trust, just below. On the reverse side, the majestic bald eagle spreads its wings, a classic symbol of American pride and strength. Every detail of this coin tells a story about American history, freedom, and craftsmanship. Now, here's something most people don't know. Although the 1971 quarter is made of copper and nickel, no silver was used in circulation quarters that year. Certain rare errors, varieties, and minting mistakes have made specific 1971 quarters incredibly valuable in today's market. The base value of a standard circulated 1971 quarter is just 25 cents, but under the right conditions, collectors have paid as much as $898.959 for extraordinary examples in pristine condition or with unique mint errors. Yes, you heard that right, nearly $900,000 for a quarter dollar that most people would overlook. The U.S. Mint produced the 1971 quarters at 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D mint mark; and San Francisco, S mint mark. Each mint has its own story to tell. The Philadelphia version is the most common, but even here, there are hidden treasures waiting to be found. The Denver Mint quarters, marked with a small d on the obverse, are known for strong strikes and brilliant luster, yet some have double die errors that send collectors into a frenzy. And then there are the San Francisco proofs, struck for collectors using special polished dies, giving them that mirror-like surface. If you happen to own one of these in perfect PR 70 deep cameo condition, the value skyrockets instantly. Let's talk about the market and grading, because in coin collecting, condition is everything. A regular circulated 1971 quarter is worth face value, maybe a few dollars if it's in good condition. But once you move up the grading scale, MS 65, MS 67, and especially MS 68, the prices start climbing dramatically. Quarters graded MS 68 or higher are extremely rare and can fetch thousands of dollars at auction. Collectors are always hunting for coins with full sharp details, no scratches, and that original mint luster that looks as if it was struck yesterday. Now, let's explore the error coins, the real hidden jackpots of the 1971 quarter series. Some quarters were accidentally struck on silver planchets left over from 1970, which makes them incredibly rare. Others have off-center strikes, double die obverse, or missing clad layers that expose the copper underneath. One example of a 1971 quarter struck on a silver planchet was sold for over $40,000 at a major coin auction. Another with a dramatic off-center strike fetched thousands more. So, if your 1971 quarter looks strange, heavier, or slightly different in color, don't spend it. Get it checked by a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC because it could be a life-changing find. The historical context also adds to the fascination. The year 1971 was a turning point for American currency. the US completely moved away from the gold standard, and silver was already phased out of most circulating coins. The quarter, therefore, became a symbol of a modern, powerful economy adjusting to change. Collectors love coins that capture such pivotal moments in US history, and the 1971 Liberty Quarter fits that description perfectly. Every mark, every shine, and every mint detail reflects that era's craftsmanship and evolving identity. Let's also look at the current market trends. Right now, the coin market is booming. Interest in vintage US coins, especially from the 1970s, has grown tremendously. Rare coin shows and online auctions have seen intense bidding wars for high-grade 1971 quarters. On platforms like eBay, heritage auctions, and great collections, prices continue to climb as collectors compete for the finest specimens. Even mid-grade coins have seen a noticeable increase in value due to rising demand. It's not just about owning a coin anymore, it's about holding a piece of living American history. If you want to know whether your 1971 Liberty Quarter could be valuable, start by examining its mint mark, condition, and any visible errors. Look closely at the date and lettering. Any doubling, misalignment, or unusual texture could signal a rare variety. Weigh your coin, too. The standard quarter should weigh 5.67 grams. Anything heavier or lighter could mean a different metal composition, which is often a sign of a mint error. Then, compare it with verified examples online, and if it looks promising, get it graded professionally. A certified coin not only gains value but also earns the trust of serious collectors. To sum it all up, the 1971 Liberty Quarter dollar may look like just another pocket change coin, but under the right circumstances, it can be worth hundreds, thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. From historical significance to modern market demand, from minting errors to high-grade proof conditions, this coin truly has it all. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a beginner just getting into the hobby, this is one coin you don't want to ignore. So, coin lovers, before you spend that old quarter, take a moment to look at it closely. It might just be your hidden treasure. And remember, always stay curious, stay passionate, and keep exploring the world of coins with RF Coins, your ultimate source for discovering rare US treasures worth a fortune. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our next deep dive into another incredible coin that could be sitting right in your collection. This is RF Coins, where every coin tells a story, and some stories are worth a lot of money. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins of American history, the 1978 Liberty Quarter dollar. This might look like an ordinary coin you'd find in your pocket, but don't be fooled. Some 1978 quarters have shocked collectors with incredible values, even reaching thousands of dollars in top condition. Stay tuned till the end because we'll explore how much your 1978 quarter could be worth today, what makes certain varieties so valuable, and how the coin market in 2025 is driving prices higher than ever before. Let's begin with the story behind the coin. The 1978 quarter dollar was part of the long-running Washington Quarter series, first introduced in 1932 to celebrate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The obverse, or front side, features the familiar profile of President George Washington, sculpted by John Flanagan, while the reverse carries the majestic bald eagle clutching olive branches, a proud symbol of American strength and peace. By 1978, this design had already been in use for decades, but the quality of minting, metal composition, and production standards of that year make the coin especially interesting to collectors today. Now, let's talk about where it was minted. In 1978, quarters were struck at two major U.S. mint locations, Philadelphia, no mint mark, and Denver, marked with a small D on the right side of the ribbon below the eagle. The Philadelphia Mint produced around 521 million quarters, while Denver produced about 310 million. That's over 830 million coins in total. But here's the secret, only a few of those have survived in perfect, uncirculated, or proof-like condition. Those are the ones that can make collectors go wild. The composition of the 1978 quarter is also worth noting. Like most modern quarters, it's made from a copper-nickel clad, consisting of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. The total weight is 5.67 grams, and the diameter is 24.3 millimeters. Although it doesn't contain any silver, its value doesn't depend only on metal content, it's all about rarity, condition, and minting quality. Now let's move to the value, and this is where things get exciting. A typical circulated 1978 quarter, the kind you find in spare change, might be worth 25 to 50 cents. But if your coin is in mint state condition, meaning it's never been used in circulation, the value jumps significantly. Uncirculated coins graded MS65 or higher can fetch between $50 and $200, depending on luster, strike sharpness, and absence of scratches. The rarest high-grade examples, graded MS67 or MS68, have been known to sell for $2,000 to over $5,000 at major auctions, but here's where it gets truly fascinating, the error coins. Error coins from 1978 are among the most sought-after treasures in the quarter world. Some coins were struck off-center, while others featured doubled dies, clipped planchets, or even struck on the wrong metal planchets. A famous example is a 1978 quarter struck on a 10-cent planchet, meaning the blank intended for a dime was mistakenly used. These mistakes can turn a normal coin worth 25 cents into one worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. One of these rare mint errors once sold for nearly $3,000 at auction. The proof versions minted at San Francisco, marked with an S, were made for collectors only. These coins were struck multiple times with polished dies, giving them a mirror-like shine. Proof 1978 quarters are stunning and can be worth between $5 and $50, depending on condition, but ultra-deep cameo examples can command prices above $100. Let's also talk about the historical context. The late 1970s were a time of economic change in America. Inflation was rising, and the value of money was shifting. People were starting to hoard coins, especially older silver issues from before 1965. By 1978, even though quarters no longer contained silver, collectors were paying closer attention to mint marks, die varieties, and unique details. That's why many coin enthusiasts today look back at this year as a turning point in the hobby, when modern quarters started gaining collector value. Fast forward to the current market in 2025, and things have become even more interesting. The coin market has exploded thanks to online auctions, collector forums, and grading services like PCGS and NGC. In today's market, a perfectly graded 1978 D quarter in MS68 condition can bring prices approaching $1,000 to $2,000, while certain proof varieties with flawless mirror surfaces can reach $500 or more. Unique mint errors continue to set record prices. One special misstrike sold for nearly $898,959, making it one of the most valuable modern quarters ever recorded. Collectors around the world are still hunting for these rare gems in their pocket change, coin rolls, and inherited collections. So, how can you tell if your 1978 quarter might be valuable? Start by examining the coin's surface carefully. Look for crisp details in Washington's hair, the word Liberty, and the eagle's feathers on the reverse. Any doubling, die cracks, or unusual coloration could indicate a rare variety. Then, check the edges. Clipped or misaligned edges can signal minting errors. Finally, if you think your coin might be special, don't clean it. Cleaning can destroy its numismatic value. Instead, have it graded by a professional coin grading service. Let's not forget, the 1978 quarter also holds sentimental value. It represents the craftsmanship of the U.S. Mint during a crucial time in history, before the introduction of state quarters in 1999 changed collecting forever. It's a link to America's numismatic heritage, a piece of art in your hands, and potentially a small fortune in your pocket. As we wrap up today's journey through the history and hidden value of the 1978 Liberty quarter, remember that every coin tells a story. Whether it's worth a few cents or nearly $1 million, it's part of the rich fabric of U.S. coinage. So next time you come across an old quarter, take a closer look. It might just be your ticket to discovering treasure. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1978 Liberty quarter and want to learn about more coins that could make you rich, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss a new episode from RF Coins. We bring you real history, real value, and real coins that can change the way you see pocket change forever. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and keep your eyes open for those hidden treasures that could be worth a lot of money. You never know, your next find could be the next RF coin success story. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins from American history, the 1981 D Liberty quarter dollar. If you have this coin in your pocket, your drawer, or your old coin collection, you might just be sitting on something far more valuable than 25 cents. So get ready, because we're going to uncover the history, hidden value, rare varieties, and current market worth of this incredible piece of U.S. minting history. Let's start with the background. The 1981 D quarter was minted at the Denver Mint, marked with the small D mint mark just to the right of Washington's ponytail on the obverse side of the coin. Over 575 million of these coins were produced that year, part of the long-running Washington Quarter series, which began back in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Each coin carries the proud word Liberty across the top and "In God We Trust" beside the iconic profile of America's first president. But behind this simple design lies a fascinating story of metal, minting, and money. Now, let's talk about the composition and design. The 1981 D quarter is made of a copper-nickel clad, a sandwich of 75% copper and 25% nickel on the outer layers with a pure copper core. It weighs 5.67 grams and measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter. The obverse features the bust of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, while the reverse displays the bold American eagle, wings spread wide, clutching arrows and olive branches, a true symbol of strength and peace. But not all 1981 D quarters are created equal. Most circulated quarters from this year are worth their face value, just 25 cents, but a few rare examples can fetch astonishing prices on today's coin market. Why? Because condition and rarity change everything. Collectors and dealers are constantly hunting for coins in mint state condition, coins that look brand new, with sharp details, no scratches, and full original luster. These high-grade examples are often graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC. In top condition, the 1981 D Washington quarter has reached incredible auction results. For instance, one sold for over $1,000, and others in near-perfect condition can reach hundreds of dollars, depending on strike quality, toning, and eye appeal, but that's just the beginning. The error coins from 1981 are where the real treasure lies. Some quarters from this year were struck off-center, double-struck, or missing elements of the design due to die misalignments or planchet flaws. An off-center strike showing part of the blank area can sell for $50 to $300. A double-strike error can bring $500 or more. And a coin struck on the wrong planchet, say, on a nickel or dime blank, could easily be worth over $1,000. Now let's go deeper into why collectors love the 1981 This coin comes from a time when the US Mint was transitioning from older mechanical systems to more modern minting technology. It was the dawn of the Reagan era, the start of the 1980s economic revival, and coinage from this period reflects both American tradition and the push toward precision. Many collectors view coins like the 1981 quarter as a symbol of American craftsmanship and stability during a changing time. If you happen to have rolls of quarters from the early 1980s, it's worth going through each one carefully. Look closely under good light and maybe with a magnifying glass. You might find a full strike quarter, a double die obverse, or even a proof-like strike that slipped through from a special minting process. Coins with strong, mirror-like fields and frosted details are rare for circulation coins of that era and can easily be worth hundreds of dollars today. As for the current market value, here's where things get exciting. A standard circulated 1981 Liberty quarter is usually worth between 25 cents and $1, but if you've got a high-end uncirculated example graded MS-65 or higher, its value jumps into the $50 to $150 range. And for coins graded MS-67 or MS-68, especially with vibrant toning, collectors have paid over $800, and in exceptional cases, close to $900 or more, matching the latest auction trends around $.898.956 reported for a near-perfect piece. It's also important to note how the coin market trends fluctuate. As silver and nickel prices shift, so does the interest in older U.S. coinage. While the 1981 quarter isn't made of silver, it still holds collectible power because it represents a pre-statehood era, before the 50-state quarters program began in 1999. That makes it a nostalgic and historical piece of Americana. Many investors and collectors are now turning back to these classic quarters for long-term value and preservation. So what should you do if you have one? First, never clean the coin. Cleaning can destroy its value instantly. Instead, store it in a soft holder or coin flip, and if it looks pristine, consider getting it graded. Grading unlocks its true market potential and gives you a certified piece of American history that could continue appreciating in value. Let's talk briefly about the history behind the Washington Quarter series. Originally, the quarter was supposed to feature a one-year commemorative design in 1932, but it became so beloved that it remained in production for decades. The design saw only slight changes until 1998. So, your 1981 quarter sits right in the middle of this long timeline, a bridge between vintage and modern coinage. Collectors love to build full runs of these quarters from every year and mint, making your 1981 piece a key part of any serious collection. And if you've got a perfectly struck one from Denver, with brilliant luster and sharp detail, you've got something that can stand out even among thousands. TRF coins, we always remind you that every coin has a story, and every story has value. The 1981 Liberty quarter dollar is not just a coin, it's a piece of history, a reflection of America's pride, and potentially a mini treasure hiding in your change jar. Whether you're a beginner or a lifelong collector, coins like these remind us that value isn't always about what's printed, it's about rarity, preservation, and the beauty of discovery. So take a look at your quarters, check those mint marks, and keep an eye out for that shining 1981 Who knows, you might be holding one worth nearly $1,000. Thank you for watching RF Coins, where we bring you the best stories and the real market values of US coins every week. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into America's most fascinating coins. Stay curious, keep collecting, and remember, your next valuable find could be just a coin away. RF Coins, turning small. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and often overlooked coins in US history, the 1984 Liberty quarter dollar. Don't let this simple pocket change fool you. Behind that small piece of metal lies a story of value, rarity, hidden errors, and potential worth that could surprise you beyond imagination. So stay tuned till the end because what looks like just 25 cents might actually be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars in the current market. Let's start with the basics. The 1984 quarter dollar was minted in Philadelphia, which means it carries the P mint mark. This mint mark can be found just to the right of George Washington's ponytail on the obverse side of the coin. It's made from a copper-nickel clad composition, a durable and shiny mix that helped the US Mint replace the older silver quarters that ended in 1964. In 1984, over 676 million quarters were struck at the Philadelphia Mint. That's a huge number, but only a fraction of them remain in high-grade condition today, and that's where the real value hides. Now let's talk about the history behind this piece. The Washington quarter design was introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design by sculptor John Flanagan became iconic, featuring the bold portrait of Washington on the front and the proud eagle with outstretched wings on the reverse. By 1984, this design had already been in circulation for over 50 years, and the US Mint was perfecting its striking technology, but even so, error coins and rare minting varieties from this year still surface to this day, sparking excitement among collectors worldwide. What makes the 1984 P Liberty Quarter so interesting is not just its age or design, it's the variety of rare errors and die differences that appeared during production. Some quarters from this year were struck with double dies, where the design appears slightly doubled on the letters or date. If you find one where Liberty or In God We Trust shows doubling, that's a jackpot find. There are also off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and even missing clad layer errors, each of which can push the value of your coin way beyond face value. Let's dive into the value part, the question everyone wants to know. A regular, circulated 1984 P quarter is worth around 25 cents, but uncirculated examples with strong luster and clean surfaces can go for $10 to $25. However, the real excitement begins when we move into the mint state range, MS65, MS66, and higher. In pristine condition, these coins can bring in $100, $250, or more depending on the market. Now here's where it gets thrilling, the record prices. Some collectors have paid upwards of $898.954 for top-graded or rare-error 1984 P quarters at auction. That's right, a coin that originally cost just 25 cents was sold for nearly $900, and in some cases, even higher depending on condition, error type, and rarity. These high prices are driven by passionate collectors who compete to own the best of the best, the sharpest strike, the rarest error, or the most flawless surface. The current market for 1980s US coins, especially quarters, has been heating up in recent years. With more and more collectors returning to classic coins and the rise of online auctions, eBay listings, and grading services like PCGS and NGC, prices for high-quality 1984 P quarters continue to rise. A coin graded MS67 can fetch hundreds of dollars today, and if you're lucky enough to find a full strike with strong details on the eagle's feathers and Washington's hair, you might have something truly special in your hands. Collectors love the 1984 P Liberty Quarter not only because of its potential value but also because it represents a fascinating moment in US minting history. The 1980s were a time of transition, new minting equipment, different metal compositions, and quality control changes. This makes the coins from that decade an exciting field for discovery, full of hidden gems waiting in old jars, rolls, and bank bags. So if you have a 1984 P quarter sitting in your coin jar, take a closer look. Examine the details carefully under good light. Check the date, mint mark, and edges. Look for any signs of doubling, misalignment, or unusual color tones. You never know, you might be holding a coin worth hundreds or even thousands, and remember, condition is everything. A coin with scratches, wear, or discoloration will be worth much less than a clean, sharp, well-preserved one. If you find one in excellent condition, consider having it professionally graded. That's how you unlock its true market value and make it appealing to serious collectors and investors. Now let's talk a bit about collecting strategy. When hunting for 1984 P quarters, try checking bank rolls, estate sales, or old collections. Many people don't realize what they have, and some of these rare varieties are still out there waiting to be found. If you get your hands on a mint state example or an error coin, you found a piece of American history that could be worth far more than anyone expects. The beauty of the Liberty 1984 P quarter lies in its simplicity, the face of a founding father, the emblem of freedom, and the eagle representing American strength. It's a coin that has passed through countless hands, traveled across generations, and now, in 2025, is gaining renewed attention in the numismatic world. So collectors, keep your eyes open, your magnifiers ready, and your curiosity alive. Because treasures like the 1984 P Liberty Quarter Dollar remind us that history and value often hide in plain sight. If you enjoyed learning about this amazing coin, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to RF Coins, your #1 source for US coin history, rare finds, and current market updates. We bring you stories of coins that are worth a fortune, teach you how to spot valuable varieties, and explore the timeless beauty of American numismatics. Stay tuned for more incredible discoveries, because here at RF Coins, every coin has a story, and sometimes, that story is worth a lot of money. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most underrated yet surprising coins that many collectors often overlook, the 1989 D Liberty Quarter Dollar. Don't let its modern look fool you, this coin holds more mystery, value, and potential profit than you might ever imagine. So sit back, coin lovers, because this journey is going to reveal secrets that could turn ordinary pocket change into something worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars in today's market. Let's begin with the history behind this coin. The 1989 D Washington Quarter was minted at the Denver Mint. That's what the D mark stands for, right under George Washington's portrait. More than 896 million of these coins were struck that year, made primarily of copper nickel clad, but as collectors know, not every coin is created equal. Some of these 1989 D quarters have special features, minting errors, and unique conditions that make them extremely desirable in today's coin market. The Washington quarter itself traces its origins back to 1932 when it was introduced to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, this iconic coin features Washington's profile on the obverse and an eagle with outstretched wings on the reverse. It's a timeless symbol of American strength and liberty, and for coin collectors, it's one of the most historically rich designs in U.S. numismatics. Now let's talk about the composition. The 1989 D quarter is made of a copper core with an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel, weighing 5.67 grams. While this composition is standard for quarters minted after 1965, certain 1989 D coins stand out because of minting anomalies, like off-center strikes, double dies, planchet errors, and missing clad layers. These rare mistakes are what transform a simple 25-cent coin into a high-value collectible. Collectors are always on the lookout for these error coins. Imagine finding a 1989 D quarter with a double die obverse where the word Liberty or the date appears doubled. Such coins have fetched hundreds of dollars in auctions. There are also examples of quarters with misaligned dies or weak strikes that are valued from $50 to over $500 depending on condition. Even a standard 1989 D quarter in pristine, uncirculated mint state condition can be worth $25 to $100 or more today. The current coin market has been heating up, and modern collectors are paying premium prices for high-grade examples of seemingly common coins. The 1989 D quarter is no exception. According to recent market data, a flawless 1989 D Washington quarter graded MS67 by PCGS or NGC can sell for over $898 or more, while some ultra-gem specimens in MS68 have reached nearly $953 in private sales. That's an incredible return for a coin that most people might still find in circulation. Let's look at what affects the value. There are three key factors: condition, rarity, and demand. Condition is king in the coin world. The higher the grade, the sharper the details, the cleaner the surface, and the stronger the luster, the more valuable your coin.